Hi, I'm Claire from Chancellor Coaching. Today I want to explore the very first card in the tarot, known as the Fool. Now the Fool carries the number 0, which the sound of 0, or the sound of that symbol, is the sound of breath. We know that this is the soul taking in its first breath, the soul's journey and new beginnings. The Fool is so exciting, and I'm so pleased to be able to share this with you, as the Fool actually represents us. We're the soul that is going to be carried forward through the cycles of life, through each and every one of those tarot cards, learning something new, gaining new wisdom, and gaining new experiences as we meet the characters in each and every one of those cards. When the Fool comes up in a reading, we're talking about an unexpected opportunity to leave the past behind, to go with the flow, have that confidence and take a risk, and we're going to jump all in. The meaning of the meaning of confidence means with trust, which is exactly what we need right now, is that confidence to take a risk, move forward, jump off that cliff, and see where life takes us. So when we see the Fool in a reading, it's that youthful kind of energy, the powerful energy to break free from the routine and really start something new. When the Fool is coming up in a relationship reading, it can indicate a relationship that has a lot of spontaneity. The partner is probably not so committed. They're like wanting to be in the now, wanting to be in the present. How can we make this the most fun moment ever? And so when the Fool is in a relationship reading, we know that there's loyalty here, because we can see that little dog, his companion. We know that he's quite impulsive. We know that we're at the beginning of a journey. And so to translate that in a reading, the spirit world is saying, like, be like an eagle, fly high, experience this new fun, and see where this takes us. If this reading is coming up with a single person in front of you, again, it's time to hang out with your girlfriends, lean into that loyal support, and just go out there and have some fun, to radiate that high frequency, be in the now, and again, see what the universe brings to you when you're in that uplifted energy. If this card is coming up in reverse, it means that somebody is sabotaging their own freedom. It means that, like, the timing isn't quite right, that there's a level of resistance, preventing you from moving forward. You know, if we asked ourselves, like, okay, what are you resisting that if you didn't resist, what would be the opportunities that would be open to you? What's the worst thing that could happen if you did take that leap of faith and really put yourself first to what it is that you want to create? These are the messages of the Fool in reverse. So start taking notice of how your fear is holding you back, how your ego is holding you back, because the ego was formed when we were little, when we were taught how to be in this world. And so knowing that we've grown up, there's new resources, new freedoms available to us. Some of those old limitations, or some of those old ways of being, we've completely outgrown, and they become limitations. Our intuition will be pulling us forward because it has access to our soul's alignment to that higher purpose. And so again, in reverse, we need to check in where our ego is taking over. If this card comes up in reverse and you're feeling that self-sabotage or that resistance or the fear, it's going to manifest in your body as some health concerns. So within the entire tarot deck, each and every one of the cards represents the limitations, or in its negative polarity, it can represent people's health concerns. And so when we look at the limiting beliefs here within the Fool, we may see somebody who's experiencing something like asthma, where they're having trouble coping with the drama or the energy that's going on outside of them. They're probably very empathic, and they're picking up on all of the stress around them. And their unconscious mind is like, no, we don't want to breathe that stress in. And so it can unconsciously manifest some health issues with breathing. The Fool can represent some ankle issues, and the ankles are about moving forward, or the legs, the knees are about moving forward. Maybe somewhere in the past you've taken a step forward, you got criticized or judged for that, and your unconscious mind has said, never again will I take a risk. You know, it's safer to be safe. I'm not going to take that risk. And it can manifest again in knees and ankle issues, where your intuition knows like it is time to move forward, but the consequence of change is too great at the moment. The Fool can represent eye problems, and the eyes the muscles in the back of the eyes will become quite rigid the more that we're focused on stress. If we're in a stressful situation, stressful family predicament, stressful about overstudying, got to get it right, got to get it perfect, the energy around the eyes can weaken. And so again, the Fool is asking us to let go of some of those expectations, to give ourselves permission to have a rest, to recharge, to go with the flow in not having to take life so seriously, that we're well supported here by the spirit world. The major arcana card, the Fool, means that the spirit world is backing us up right now. And so if you're experiencing eye problems, eye headaches, it's about checking in about that, about where you're holding on to that stress. The Fool card can interestingly represent electromagnetic hypersensitivity, which I used to have. I used to be sensitive to electricity, to mobile phones, to Wi-Fi, and that was a lesson for me to come back into my spiritual body, come back to earth, be completely grounded, that it was safe to be here on earth, because there was a part of me that still wanted to be up in the spirit world and playing in multidimensional worlds. And so with my coach, with my healer, I was able to clear and transmute and to release any of that heaviness. Obviously now I'm completely fine with computers and Wi-Fi and electricity, but for a while there, the Fool was in my energy field asking me to release that limitation from the past. And the Fool can also represent a level of numbness. So no time for yourself, feeling a little bit controlled by others, not sure how to move forward, current circumstances aren't bringing you joy. And so if the Fool comes up in a health reading, we are being asked to come back to our joy. Open your heart, start to manifest. What is it that you want? Because the heart space here is all about that feminine possibility of what you can create. When we manifest, we move that energy into our mind and how we're going to move forward. But knowing that where we've got the Fool in front of us, the Fool is now in that solar plexus energy of like yes, we're moving forward. So let's have a quick look at the symbols within the Fool. So we see the sun at the top there, and the sun is rising. This is a new day, new opportunities. The yellow in the background, our future is hopeful. It's just that bright, happy warmth, time for action, time to start this new project. When we see the Fool himself, he is carrying that knapsack, and the knapsack has all of the tools that he needs for the survival in the now. He's probably got a bowl of water and a sandwich, and then see where life takes us. And that is all about the Fool's message in maybe not feeling equipped to have everything that you need, but trusting the cycles of life will support that. When we move down more, we can see that the Fool is holding onto that flower, and he's opening up to receive that light, to receive that joy and the beauty, and most importantly, to experience that growth. We see that flower a few times within the tarot, within the Fool's journey, especially when it comes to the Death card. We see that flower open on the flag, with each petal representing an element of life. Earth, air, water, I can't remember the others right now, but we do see that the patterns and the symbols repeating themselves to show us how we've grown as the Fool has taken us through his journey. We see the mountains in the background. Now, anytime you see mountains or hills in the tarot, they represent our goals. They represent the spirit world hearing us have the commitment to our goals. And seeing the mountains in the background, they're covered in ice, which is telling us that the goals at the moment are distant. They're feeling a little bit unachievable, but the Fool is still determined to go on this ride. And of course we've got his little white dog there, and the dogs in the tarot always represent that loyalty, that friendship, that kinship. And the dog, while we don't often see too much more of him after this card, it does represent that the spirit world has got our back. I can hear the team talking to me and they're saying, talk about the little yellow shoes. Now, when it comes to the tarot, every single color, every single pattern is deliberate. So when we're seeing the yellow shoes, we know that this person can own their value. They know that that golden path forward, like Wizard of Oz, that golden path is something that they want to move forward on. They know their value. It's just about one step after another, choosing that one step and seeing where life takes us. So just checking in with the team. Is there anything else here that we need to know? No, they're just bringing my attention to the blue energy, the blue in the background there, telling us that there's that calm assurance that our goals are achievable. While they're in sight, they just seem a little bit big at the minute, one step at a time, bringing forward that confidence and making life happen. So if this card is coming up in a reading, really all we know at the moment is that there's a lot of creative energy, there's a lot of new opportunities, it's time to step into that confidence, it's time to say yes and to see where life takes us. I'm Claire from Claire Chancellor Coaching. That's the full, and I'll talk to you soon.